Hello. So, does the Goatman exist today? And you may say, what do you mean, Goatman? Well, you know that we've heard through mythology and other sources that there are satires. We have stories of Pan. We have statues that show half man, hello Apple Brooks, half man and half goat. And there have been sightings, real world sightings of a half man, half goat, they call Goatman. And is it just myth? Is it something to just laugh about? I don't think it's anything to laugh about. They've got plenty of documentation throughout history in writings and sculptures and paintings and drawings and all of that. So thank you for joining. And I'm going to show you how, good morning, Anna, how I got on this. I was actually watching the mayor of Mayfield, Kentucky, when she was being interviewed on the news, and I was just looking at her, just watching her, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It was a horrible thing that happened. And I want to take you all over here. Good morning. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, I hope you can, because we're going to go somewhere with this. We really are. This is great. I'll just, that's perfect. We're going to get right down to it. So I went over here and I found this place. It was called Ghost Stories. Here are 300 plus haunted places to explore in Kentucky and Indiana. All right, so I went through every single one of them. You can see the map right here of all these haunted places in Kentucky and Indiana. And I didn't realize there was that many places, and I thought there's got to be some type of energy there, some type of vortex there. And as I scrolled through a lot of these places right here, there's accounts of glowing orbs, green orbs, orange orbs. They're glowing tombstones, and of course the normal stuff, the gory stuff. And I don't like to get into that. But I scrolled all the way down, and also this place, a lot of these places in Kentucky, that was where a lot of war took place, like Civil War, Revolutionary War, Indians, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's literally packed full of what you would call spiritual energy and stuff like that. So I came down here. I'm going to get right down to it, you all. We're going to go somewhere with this. Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to find the place that I was just at, if I can get to it. You know, and we have things going on in Louisville, Kentucky, too. That place has some things with it. Let me put this back to me. I've got to find out where I can't even remember where I was even looking at a half man, half goat in Kentucky. That's okay, you all. It was somewhere in Kentucky, so I went to that place, wherever it was over here. I think it was Lawrenceville or something. Let me find it really fast if I can, you all. You just put this back to me really fast, because I have already forgotten where I saw it at on here. And I guess it doesn't matter in the big scope of life. We're just going to go over here. So I thought half man, half goat. Let's see some images of it. And thank you for joining. So we can see some of these images right here. of what it looked like, what half man, half goat looked like. Sarah Epic, quite possibly. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to really get that account of the lady who saw it. I really did. And I think I will get it. I'll just wait right there because I've got it opened up on my laptop also. So you just hold on. You can look at the images. See, there's all kinds of depictions. And you know that they, this is disgusting. It is bestiality and stuff like that. But then we got this little mythical character in the movie too. And I watched that. I really did watch it. But there's a lot of stuff going on. So, okay, I found it. I'm going to go here. I'm going to read you this. Okay, let me put this back to me. Okay, I found it. Okay, I got to come down here to Vanceburg, Kentucky. Vanceburg, Kentucky is where I saw this. And we got to get down here to it, Gina, honey. You ain't not going fast enough. Yeah, I'm trying to go fast. I really am trying to go fast. Oh, my goodness gracious. So right here. So we're looking at Vanceburg, Kentucky, Slate Hollow. Slate Point and surrounding hills. In the 1980s, there were several sightings of a hoofed, half-man, half-deer, or goat-type creature roaming the area. I was really surprised to see this. I really was. Roaming the area. It is said that he or it was bringing in a new age of depression, death, and bitterness, and even opening a portal to the dark realm itself. You may say, Gina, that's all make-believe. Nobody can open up portals. Well, what's CERN doing? Okay, what's CERN doing? Okay, they literally do like to open up portals, and there are people who do open up portals. Now, you may find that hard to believe, but I don't find it hard to believe. I know that exists. I know there's a dark side to this world. There really is. Opening up portals. And, did I push that back there, you all? In the same area, and maybe the same being was sighted several times on Slate Hollow Point in a cabin that is long gone. The shape was the same, but there was a mention of glowing red eyes, and when this being was being approached without fear, he would turn into several blackbirds and fly towards you. In the valley below the point was a place that was and has been described as completely barren and dead. The grass, the trees, and even a branch of water was dry and gone. This is said, now get this was said to be the opening to the portal. The portal, you all. Screams could be heard, climate change from warm to extreme cold. Now, see, I find that interesting. From warm to extreme cold around a portal. Is that so? For those of you who have studied portals and who know about it, is there really a change in temperature that has taken place with these portals? Is there? Because I don't really know much about it. Is what I'm talking about. Oh, they love the code. Thank you. They love the code, you all. They love the code. Yeah, I'm trying to get this cell phone setting up here so I can see it better. That's all right. We can do it. So let me get this back to the screen. So I did not know about that. That's good to know. Thank you, Cynthia, honey. So a feeling of eyes all around you watching could be felt, and it was told that the reason all of this attention had come to this area was due to, well, we ain't going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that, what it was due to. Okay, so that's good. That's fine. And you know what? As I read this, I'm going to put the link to every single article that I read here in this live stream so you can see live time of where I've been. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to paste it, cut and paste it, you all. That's what we're going to do. You see, I cut and paste it. Put this back to me. We're going to go here. So I looked at half man, half goat, and you can see all of these images. You can see every bit of it. There's no shortage of it. There's no shortage of statues or anything of that nature. None at all. And, we've got, look, what is a half man, a half goat? We got mythology. We got it all going on. So look at this. So a scientific mystery. And we're going to put this right here. I'm going to cut and paste this so you can see it also in this live stream right here. We're going to go right here. So we're going to look at this. This is, if you are in the Americas, hanging out in the woods on a pitch black night, beware, because there might be a goat man to freak you out. As the name suggests, goat man is half man and half goat, attacking people in the dark, in the deep dark woods. So it is a creature who has inspired fear and fascination for decades, and many people believe in this legendary creature, which they think can be found all across America, but lives only in darkness. Okay, yeah, and I'm sure it's not only across America. I'm sure it can be found. This being can be found all over the world, because I don't think that they are make-believe. I think that they did and still do exist. They kind of like immortal, like. You can even find it in the stories about the movie shows Hercules and Xena, the warrior princess, and all this, and all kinds of movies. Okay. It can walk on both 2 or 4 legs and chooses the movement according to the circumstances. With horns and furs, he resembles creatures from Greek mythology, most strikingly a satire. So we can open that up. You can see what the satire looks like. I already showed you that right there. That's what the satire looks like. And according to this Selenius with pipes and a pipe case hanging on his you-know-what. So we're not going to say what his you-know-what is, you all. That's too much detail. Too much information. Too much information about that. So he walks with an axe in his hand in order to tear apart humans on encountering them. Now, that's kind of a little bit gory. It really is. It's a little bit gory. The legend of this hybrid creature dates back to the 1950s. Okay. While a lot of media mentions, Gina, honey, can we get this? While a lot of media mentions the Goatman prevailed in the past, some people still claim to have spotted him. So let's learn about the early mentions of the Goatman. So we can look at this, you all. There is no reason why we can't look at this. We're going to look at this because it is important to know what existed, what was written about, what was drawn, what was statues that were made, and all of the stuff that surrounds it, and it still carries over in today. So we're going to look at it, is what we're going to do, you all. So let me make this screen bigger because I want us to see this, you all. I want you to be able to read it with me, how the Goatman was created. Oh, so the Goatman was first spotted in a small town in Maryland called Bowie. I've been there. According to one legend, while working on an experiment of goats, something went terribly wrong and the scientist was mutated, becoming goat-like himself. The furious Goatman then started attacking cars with an axe and roaming on the streets of Maryland. Well, I've not heard that one, but that's all right. It's a version. Another version of the legend states that there was one man, Dr. Stephen Fletcher, was once working in the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Maryland when his wife fell ill and went into a coma-like state. And desperate to save his wife, he started experimenting on a large range of technologies, which included you-know-what. And he mixed the you-know-what of his assistants with the you-know-what of a goat. And the experiment backfired and the Goatman was created. Okay, I think it was long before that, you all. I really do. I think this existed long before then. Okay, I really do, because they wrote about it. So in Texas, the origin of the story is pretty straightforward. In the 1800s, there was a man called Jack Goatman, Kindle, who owned and sold goats, and he spent all of his time around livestock and had a stench of goats. He even wore goat skin, thus the people of his village avoided approach him. He had you know what with one of his goats, and this gave birth to a half man, half goat. Okay, the predecessors of an unusual baby still existing. So they think that is that. So he was obsessed with doing that. And then, oh my gosh, you all, the Goatman, the devil. You know, this is going to get you all. This might be too much for your ears. You might want to close your ears and close your eyes, you all. But it's part of history. It's a part of an ancient history, is what it is. Let's read this. That's right. We're going to look at this, you all. So the Goatman, a devil. People believe that the Goatman wreaks havoc wherever it goes. He yells, he squeals, and makes other great noises in the woods. He attacks livestock and humans, especially young couples, terrorizes couples trying to sneak onto lovers' lane. He chases teens and does that to early media attention. Was conferred upon the devil in October of 1971. In Bowie-based Prince George County News, a writer named Karen Hostler had written an article which described the family of Edwards searched for their lost puppy. So the girl seen a large creature walking on its hind legs, carrying a dog, and on the same night, that was when her dog disappeared. The article reported that the sightings of such a creature was increasing day by day along Fletchertown Road, you all. So this drawing looks kind of menacing to me. Looks very serious. He looks a little bit scary. You look a little bit scary. Did you know that you look a little bit scary in that picture there? We're studying you right now. We certainly are. Yeah, we're studying you. That's what we're doing. So, however, soon after the popular journal Washington Post revealed that Ginger was alive and found safely, and it revealed how a legendary figure was haunting the people of Bowie. So they say the stories might have been tied to what students were learning about in Greek culture and the half-man, half-goat god, Pan, in school. See? The half-man, half-goat god, which was called Pan, in school. So someone might have created a rumor to fall in the spotlight, and people started spreading it. You know, is it a rumor? I don't know. If they've been spotted all across the United States, and probably in your country, I am sure there has to be some type of truth to it. There has to be some type of truth to a being that was half man, half goat. There really had to. They're bound to have to. Okay, so we can go like this. We can do it, you all. So look, the legend also became so famous that Wisconsin-based ghost hunter Nathan Couch wrote a book on it. And another sighting in 1962, 14 hikers mysteriously died in Maryland. The strange circumstances of their deaths could never be found. So the current scenario. Let's see about this current scenario. The legend gets passed on from one generation to another. Thus, many people still claim to spot the Goatman. And there are eyewitnesses from all over the U.S., including Texas, Wisconsin, and Kentucky. People believe that the creature and his home base is in Maryland, where he was first seen. And he lives under the Governor's Bridge, and he kills. So that reminds me of you know what that reminds me of, you all? That killed under the bridge and close to the cave that find him. They say unless we see it with our own eyes, we just can completely disregard the Goatman as a, whatever it is, you all. Whatever, a myth. So let's look at this. Now, see, that reminds me of this right here. It reminds me of this right here, you all, if we can find it. Let me put you here. It reminds me of the Three Billy Goats Gruff, kind of, but that man was under the bridge looking for the goats, you all. And these goats could talk. Okay, they wanted to go across that bridge. and they couldn't get across the bridge. The troll. There was a troll under the bridge that was going to get them, you all. That's what it was. American literature. If you haven't heard of it, we're going to pop that into this live stream for you to look at. Yes, we are. Boom. Gina, honey, you got to hit that button. Boom, you all. You got that you got the 3 billy goats gruff in there in your area. And we're going to close that one out, you all. We're going to close it completely out. I'm going to close this other one out too. So let's look at this. So we're talking about these Goatmen. We just came off of this screen right here, this current scenario right here. We came off of that, but then we want to look at the satire right there, satire. So we're going to look at it. We're going to come over here to this screen. We're going to put this screen here, Wiki Fandom, Greek Mythology Wiki Fandom. I think that's a really good one to look at, the Wiki Fandom. I like Wiki Fandom. I really do, because I think it has a lot more truth to it than a lot of the other stuff we read on here. I really do. I just can't help it. I think it does. I really do. It does. So we're going to look at it, you all. Yes, we are. We're going to come right over to it. So let's see what they say about the satires. They are creatures. Let's look at you all. I hope this is okay, because I am learning something. I really am. I am learning something, and I hope you're learning something, and I hope this is an interesting subject for you to explore. There's no need to be fearful or afraid. We're just learning. We're just learning together, you all. That's what we're doing. Yes. So the satire. They are creatures with upper half of a man and the lower half and horns of a goat. Okay, horns of a goat, you all. Horns of a goat. And, I don't know what happened with my one thing here. It literally blacked my screen out, but that's okay. I turned it back on so I can read these comments. You all hit that like button. Satires are often depicted as drunken, lustful creatures who are often chasing after nymphs because of their beauty. I think we have some lustful beings on earth today that chase after people just because, I think it's kind of like a spirit at times. They overtakes people. Okay. They are sometimes associated with the gods Pan and Dionysus. Dionysus. We're going to look at Dionysus in a minute, too. One of the most famous satires was Silonius, who was a follower of Dionysus. That's really interesting. It really is. King Midas. Well, we heard about King Midas. King Midas and his touch, everything he touched turned to gold. That's pretty interesting. I did not know this about this. I did not know that how this literally turned into that. We're going to find out about King Midas. So King Midas, under the myths, according to legend, a king by the name of Midas found the satyr Silonius asleep in his garden, and knowing that Silonius was a follower of Dionysus, he invited him into his castle and feasted with him until Dionysus came back for him. Seeing how well Silonius had been treated, Dionysus offered to grant King Midas a wish. As Midas was very greedy, I didn't know he was greedy, you all. Really didn't. That's okay. We can still read about his greed. He wished that everything he touched would turn into gold. So Dionysus warned him that the greediest wishes would bring the greatest sorrow, but Midas insisted, and Dionysus had no choice but to grant it, you all, to grant it. Soon Midas realized that the golden touch had become a curse. Well, that's why it says, be careful what you wish for. Be careful, because you'll not only get that, and all that comes with it, all that comes with it. Just like I guess King Midas has found out. Whatever he drank immediately turned to gold. Even his daughter, oh, that's so sad, bent down to hug him, turned to gold. Midas went back to Dionysus and apologized for his greedy behavior, and Dionysus took pity on him and taught him that the spell could be reversed via running water. So that was pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting about that. It really was. What else did we see? Oh, okay. So now we're over here on another page right here, mythology.net. So you can come here to mythology.net. We'll come over here, and honey, we're going to paste this for you right there. Boom. We're going to watch this mythology.net is what we're going to look at. So then they got some more pictures of satire. Oh, we got the Anunnaki here. We got the dragon. Oh, what's that? Panzu. I never heard of a panzu, but that's okay, you all. We can look at it. So we got the satire. Oh, look, you can scroll across here, and you can see. Well, we're going to do that. Gina, honey, can we get this screen down for you? We can do it for you. You all want to do this for you. So the satire on a mountain goat drinking with women. Well, where is the satire on the goat? Well, here's the goat, and here's the women. And why did they do that? You have to ask yourself, why did you do that? Okay, the Netherlands satire and nymphs. Oh, wow, there's the satire, and there's the nymphs right there laying down. If you're in the Netherlands, we got a picture that says in the Netherlands with the satire and the nymphs. So you got some history there, you do. So let's look at this one. So satirist painting. Is that a female satire? I heard that all the satires were men. That's what I heard. They were all men. But this looks like it's got some angel wings right here, you all. Babies and angel wings, and that's all right. It really is. So we're back here to this spot, you all. Just hang on. We're going to read about this. We're going to read a little bit more about this because I am learning out so much. I'm learning so much, more than I ever did in school. More than I ever did in school. That's true. So what is a satire? They are original party animals, and these Grecian creatures were born a tribe of the helpless and the worthless. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that phrase, a tribe of the helpless and worthless. I don't like that terminology, and I don't like that type of labels. But they soon found their place in the world, entertaining Dionysus, the god of wine, with their music and dancing and wild merrymaking. Well, so they were wild. And they liked to dance, and they liked their music. All right, that's fine. So let's see about this physical description of them. They are known for their animalistic behavior, and their appearance goes hand in hand with their personality. In the early Greek art, let me get over here and highlight that part right there. In early Greek art, satires are part man and part horse or donkey. Oh, okay. Well, see, I thought it was only a goat, so now I know that when I see the horse part of the man, when I see the horse part, if you see a man with a horse body and a man upper part, it's also a satire. And if it's like a donkey, it's a satire. But I thought it was just goats, but I guess not. That's fine. Part man, part horse or donkey. They have heads full of thick curls. They got curly hair and beards that fall down to their chest. Oh, wow. And nubby horns peeking out of their curly locks. So that's all right. They can have curly hair if they want. They really can. You go ahead and have your curly hair. Yes. Their noses are short and round, while their ears are long and pointed. A horse or a donkey tail sprouts from their lower back and sweeps down to the ground. Well, I'm sure that their tails are not like that of a dragon that literally has a great big long tail and just swishes people away with it. It can. So satires, some satires slightly vary. The pains, for example, have goat legs. Oh, now see, we learned another name. The ones with the goat legs are called the pains because they don't have horse features. And the Selenists were thinner and older with bald heads. Did you? I did not know that, you all. And the adorable Satirischio were just young boys lacking the beards and bulging muscles of their older companions. Oh, that's pretty neat. They got bulging muscles. All right. In Greek art, satires began to appear even more animalistic. In addition to having a horse's tail, they began to have horse or goat legs as well. And today's images are similar. The horsier, the better. So we're learning about a lot of stuff, you all. But it's one subject with a lot of things connected to this one subject, which is quite interesting. It is the personality. The Satires are attendants of the Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and celebration, and their rambunctiousness makes them perfect for the role. They revel in wine, music. Gina, get that off of there. Music and dancing, and above all else, women. They like women. Their parties usually turn into frenzies since they can't control their high spirits. Impulse control simply does not exist among the Satires. From a distance, a party might be like, you get too close and you'll regret heating their pipes. And they are wild and reckless. They quickly spin into destruction. They have been known to rip apart villages that stood in the path of their parades, trampling crops, looting food, and generally making nightmarish mess. They pose the biggest threat to women. We got to watch out for those Satires, because I heard that they like women. That's what I heard. I heard they like women. So they are famous for their insatiable lust, and they won't take no for an answer. These musky, drunken creatures have been responsible for, we don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear about their bad behavior, you all. I don't. There is a method to their madness. They are extremely talented with musical instruments. They can produce such hypnotic tunes on their pipes and flutes that other people and even animals are forced to join their reveille. You know, I've seen that. Have you seen that in those movies, those cartoon-like things where they're blowing their little flute, and the people, they literally go into a trance and they get hypnotized? Sounds like a form of mind control with a certain frequency, except it's not a harp that they're playing. It's a flute. So yeah, they can do that, you all. Isn't that very interesting to know that they can do that? I think it is. I had to get me a drink of water. So their cultural representation, they appear first in Greek literature around the 8th century. Hesiod, Ovid, Strabo, Aesop, Virgil, Cicero, and Nonnus all wrote about the wild parties, brawls, and affairs of the satyrs. They are extremely popular in Athenian red figure poetry. I'm not sure what red figure poetry is. Oh, Gina, honey? Yes, you need to go back and read that sentence. Oh my gosh. Satires are extremely popular in Athenian red figure pottery. It's pottery, not poetry. Oh no, that's kind of funny. Good morning. Thank you for joining you. Yeah, well, if you take out one of those T's and rearrange that E, it kind of does look like a Athenian red figure pottery, you all. It does. Oh, dear goodness. So during the 5th and 6th century, countless red figure designs, including satyrs playing with their flutes or manhandling huge wines of skin. Yes, that's right. Around the 5th century BC, satires became extremely popular in theater. During dramatic plays, a chorus of actors would dress up as satyrs and provide commentary on the drama, often for comic relief. And one complete play, Cyclops, by Euripides, still exists today, and fragments of the plays by Sophocles and Aesop have also been found. So that's really interesting. So it was handed down from the Greeks to the Romans, and they began to be confused with other party animals. So look at that. The spirit of the ancient satire lives on in today's fantasy literature, although they are more commonly referred to by their name, a faun. By their name, a faun. We are pressing forward. Yes, we are. Yeah, I'm going to close that one out because I've already did that. I did. So then we come over here. Look at this. So we got this right here, satire, also known as fauns or free folk, where they were the fey creatures delighted in singing and dancing and feasting and debauchery. Well, they didn't have got that. This is right here. We're going to put this right here. Forgotten Realms. You all, that's really good. We're going to come over here. I'm going to paste this link in here for you. Forgotten Realms. Right there you are. We can go to the Forgotten Realms. That's where we're going to go. I'd rather bed a satire, muttered Vasha darkly. Well, sure, who wouldn't, agreed the drow. Well, I never heard of that, you all. I really didn't hear of it. So, what? I got to watch this as a touch screen, and if I touch it the wrong way, it's going to move on me. Yes, what did they are, party animals. Look at them right there. And we're over here on the fandom. Are we on this fandom? I want to make sure I've got that screen touched so you can see this description of this satire. They look like this. I like how they describe this, you all. This is I really do look like how they describe this. They look like male humanoids of stout build with fur-covered lower bodies and legs and cloven hooves similar to that of a goat. I think that's great. And similarly, goat-like horns topped their heads. These came in a variety of shapes and sizes, from small nubs to big curling ones akin to a ram. They were typically seen with facial hair. So he's got some facial hair, just like men today. The men today, if you can grow facial hair, you can grow a beard, a goatee, you can have a mustache if you want. And some people today have a lot of hair on their arms, you all. They do. A lot of men today have, I don't know how many, but I've seen it. They have hair. Their bodies is full of hair. Hair on their bodies, hair on their arms, hair on their backs. And some people like their hairy bodies. And some men don't like their hairy bodies like that. And they just don't understand why all that hair is all over their body. Because they're full of hair. And that's really interesting. It really is, if you think about it, how some people have hair completely, some men, all over their bodies in the front, all over their bodies in the back, all down their arms and legs. They're one big body of hair, is what they are. One big body of hair. And they can't help it, and it's okay. If you are that type of person, it's okay. It's all right. It really is all right. They had only a male sex, as female satires was a phenomenon that just never naturally occurred. There was no females. They were only males, you all. The males. That's right. Their personality were well known for being curious and incredible hedonistic. Hedonistic. I'm going to be honest. I don't quite really know what the word hedonistic means. So I'm going to look it up right here. I'm going to look up the word hedonistic to see what the definition is. Oh, okay. It's an adjective. Devoted to pleasure. Okay, they like pleasure. Okay, that's fine. They like pleasure. All right, they are hedonistic and they like pleasure. Make sure I'm on that screen. They are willing to go to any length to achieve their desires, giving little thought to the results of their actions, and they are often roped other creatures into participating in their debauchery, you all. I'm going to tell you that we have that behavior going on today in the race of beings called humans. Okay, we do. Not all of them, but some of them, they get a little wild. They do. They're a little When they get a little drunk, they do things that they shouldn't do, and they don't know they even did it. I guess they might have turned into a satire, spiritually speaking, when that happened. It might have happened, you all. So combat. So when facing a foe, they were typically known to fight with either a short sword or a short bow. Their most notable weapon was a set of panpipes that included a variety of magical effects on their enemies, including charming, frightening, and lulling them to sleep. Others say other satires were immune to the effects of these pipes, so they could only do it on somebody who was different. They could only, this is interesting if you think about it, so they could play their pipes on a different race of beings, and it would have whatever effect, I guess, that they wanted it to have, but on other beings like themselves, it didn't bother them. It didn't bother them, just other beings. And when they're, oh, see, that's this, look at this. When weapons were not available in close quarters situations, they often would simply ram their opponents with their heads. So you know what they just said. They used their magical effects, their panpipes, their musical instrument, their frequency. They used the frequency of their pipes as a weapon. That's what it says. It was a weapon that was used against their opponents. Their panpipes had magical effects, and to charm, to frighten, and to lull to sleep. And they were considered, let me show you what they were considered. Weapons. It was one of their weapons, you all. That's what it was, one of their weapons. This is so interesting, you all. I'm learning so much. I really am. I'm so thankful that we got this opportunity to learn together. So, this is really good. And if I'm not looking at the comments, you all, don't take it personal. That's why we got moderators. I'm just trying to focus on getting this out. Society. Due to their hedonistic nature, satires were known to frequently join in the celebration of holidays regardless of what they were for. Oh my God. They were real partiers, you all. They didn't care what you were celebrating. They wanted to join in. Satires in elven woods were known to believe that it was lucky to see a dragon when it was raining. Yes, please hit that subscribe button. The reproduction. The being an all-male race, the satires required mating with other creatures in order to reproduce. They were required to mate with other creatures because they were only male species in order to reproduce. These creatures were specifically their fellow fae, the dryads, or the orades. I don't know what a fae is. Okay, that's a fae. Let's see what a fae looks like. A sprite. Sprites. Okay, that's a sprite. That's a fae. We're going to stick this down here because I just touched on it. So I'm going to stick it down here so you all can find that link to that. Because I want to look at where I was on here. A fae. A dryad. I don't know what a dryad is. Right here, this is a dryad depiction of a dryad. Never heard of that. I'm going to put this in here for you all too, so you can see that. It's good to have a link. So let's see where else. And a orid. An orid. This is an orid. Well, that's okay. We can look at that too. We can see an orid, just like that. Boom. So we got all these links that we have opened up. A dryad. They are also forgotten. A fae. An Orid. So we're back over here. Gina, get on where you were at. Okay, we're back here, you all. We're back here. And I am trying to not say the word you all too much, because I do say it quite a bit. So I'm really trying to do some self-restraint here. Okay, I really am. Oh my goodness. So they also shared the Dryads' affection for humans of the opposite sex. Okay, they like humans. Such pairings were likely to result in a child that was half Fae human. Okay, we know what a human looks like because we just so happen to be a human. I'm a human, you're a human. We are the species of humans that the Satire is also like. If you're a woman, they like you. So, yes, look at this. So, this is really interesting. The one known exemption to the near multiversal constant of Satires being a one-sex species was the plane of throws. The plane of throws. The Satires native to this plane exhibited both males and other species. We got to find out what the plane of throws was. There's nothing to show. It's a mortal world. The plane consisted of. Let's look at that, you all, because you might want to go there and research it too. This is good. The plane existed of 3 distinct demiplanes: the mortal world, the Nyx, and the underworld. Wow. They were all tucked away by its resident deities into their own pocket of the multiverse. Where have we heard about the multiverse? Okay, somebody just now is doing the multiverse. Who is that somebody? Oh, that's a metaverse. Well, it sounded like multiverse. It did. But it sounded like a multiverse. Yeah, so look at that. It's on Redis, away from most of the cosmos, you all. Away from most of the cosmos. The calendar was the major calendar systems of the Thuros was the Malaysian calendar, marked each day with the beginning of a new moon. Under this calendar, the people of Thuros separated each year into 12 months. Oh my gosh, you all. Can you believe that this is like our calendar? Look at this. This is just like the calendar that we have, and they're calling it the Malaysian calendar. This is really good. I like this. I love it. Let's get this up here, you all. This is interesting. The major calendar, Thuros, Malaysian calendar, marked each day with the beginning of a new moon. And under this calendar, the people of Thuros separated each year into 12 months that alternated between consisting 29 and 30 days. Though once every 3 years, the calendar would include a 13-month. Well, we don't got a 13-month. Wow. That is so interesting. That is so interesting. The history was a complex thing on Thuros as compared to other worlds, and history became a matter of myth far more quickly, with details distilling into generalities, vagueness, and morals. It was often impossible for mortals to distinguish between the historical facts and myths that surrounded the activity of their deities on the mortal world. Well, see, that we got that going on here too. In the late 1480s, DR channeling of power from across the plains occurred in Icewind Dale, a region of Toril, potentially due to the everlasting rhyme, and some of the meddling of goddesses Auror's part. This meddling planar magic caused some creatures from other worlds to be dragged into the Icewind Dale. This included a Leonian known as Yana, who was watching her plane's sun set over the Oreskos when she was transported, and while chasing a pack of Satires in that region, she ran into the cleric Celeste and explained the situation, you all. So that's really interesting. Look at all this stuff. See, I like this stuff a lot better because I think there's more truth to it. I really do. And you know what I think I've done? Oh, no, I didn't do nothing. I'm back here on the screen. right here. So this is what we saw. So you can see, oops. So how did I get in here? I think I've already lost my part in here, I really do. I think I did. That's about right. If I've lost my part, then it means that I should not have. I already told all about it, I did. Let's look at Pan, the god Pan, right here. So we can just end with this, all. So there is this god, this Pan. See, they got the flute. He's having this person play that flute, which is very, very interesting. Playing the flute right here. So if you're just tuning in, I did start off with this, if I can get to it. I started off with satires right here. These satires, and there's been rumors of people seeing them all across the world. They've been written about in newspapers and articles and books and movies and paintings. They've been painted, they've been drawn, they've been sculptures made of them. And I really don't think that they're rumors. I don't. I think that they did exist. I really do think they existed, is what I think. So, Gina, I just need to push this thing to show just me is what I need to do. So I am going to be going, but I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned a little bit more about satires, and are they just rumors? They have a history with them. There's myths, there's tales, there's a lot of information out there, and I hope that if you're able to, during the live stream, when you go back and look at the comments, hopefully you can see the links that were put, or you can do your own research. The research is out there, and I think that these beings do exist today. They do. There's a lot that we are told that does not exist, that is totally impossible to be existing. And it's just all make-believe, but it's not make-believe. There isn't. There's a lot of things going on. And this Goatman, Pan with his flute, the god Pan, the frequency of his flute had an effect, and it was one of the weapons that he used. So with that being said, thank you all for joining and taking time out on this Sunday morning. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you once again. And please keep an open mind. And there's so much to learn. There's a lot of things out there that we need to learn more about and check into, and whatever they will be, I don't know until that moment happens with me on this channel. Thank you, moderators, for everything, and thank you for all your comments, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you.